Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to SteenSmokeHouse video number 4. Some folks wait for a special occasion to cook outdoors or have a great cut of meat or steak or something like that. I like to cook out Friday night. My typical cookout on a Friday night is a steak. I may cook it on the gas grill. I may cook it on my Weber. Tonight I'm going to cook it on the Weber. I've got the Weber fired up. I'm using the chimney starter like I showed you before. I'm going to do it again just in case you want a refresher. I'm going to use about my small chimney. Fill it up with Kingsford charcoal and lump charcoal, and when it gets good and hot, we're going to put it on the Weber. We're going to cook this steak indirectly, that is off the heat, until it gets to temp, and we're going to use a technique called reverse sear. I'm going to reverse sear after the meat has rested. This will give an opportunity for the juices to blend together, for the meat to come to temp, and it'll be perfect to put on a very hot griddle. This is a ribeye cap that they've actually made into a steak. It's got a lot of marbling in it. It's inherently tender, but they get it. This ribeye would have been probably about this big, probably taking up most of the cutting board right here. But this part of it is like the very best part of it. This is again USDA Prime. USDA Prime is a cut above everything. Remember, we have Select, we have Choice, we have Prime. This is Prime. If I cook a steak for myself or guests, I kind of like to stretch a little bit and get a prime cut of meat. All we're going to do to this steak tonight is put kosher salt on it, and not a whole bunch. I like to go all the way around. We'll flip it over. I'm done seasoning this. I like to let beef get to room temp, so when you put it on the grill it doesn't have to overcome the temperature of the refrigerator. I've already seasoned both sides of it. I'm going to go out and start up the Weber chimney starter, my short one. I'm going to put Kingsford competition charcoal in it, and I put a little bit of lump charcoal in it. Then I'm going to introduce it to the Weber, and then I'm going to let it come to temp. I've got cast iron grills in there from Camcorder. This is the latest Weber. It's the Gourmet series. It's got the removable grate in the center of it. I happen to prefer the cast iron. I really like it. So we're going to cut right there, and I'll be back with you in a moment. That is lump charcoal, which you've seen, but I like to use a little bit of it. It burns very hot. It's not overpowering. It imparts a very nice flavor to it. That's the Kingsford competition charcoal. I've used it in the pit barrel before, which is sitting over there in the sun. However, it burns a lot hotter and it burns a little bit quicker, and the Kingsford blue label or blue and white label, the standard Kingsford, works much better. And those are those Weber fire starter cubes that I buy. And it's just that simple. You can put newspapers in there. There's little fire sticks you can put in there. To me, this is the easiest method. It burns perfectly. It starts the coals exactly the way I want them. They'll get nice and ashed over, and they'll get right to the point. When we get to that point, we're going to pull them off, pour them on top of the coals that are already in the Weber, and we'll let it come to heat with the lid down to kind of keep all the just keep the warmth in it, keep the heat in it, warm up the cast iron grates, and I'll be with you in a moment. As you can see, this is building a very nice bed of coals for us to put in our Weber. It only takes a few minutes for this to get going. Like I said, that Weber cube imparts no taste at all. It burns out like a candle. It builds a very nice fire. It burns briefly, and then it ignites the charcoals, and the charcoal makes the flame go upward, and upward goes the fire. And in a few minutes, we're going to introduce the fire to the Weber, get that all nicely mixed around, and build us a nice fire to cook our steak on. And I look forward to showing you how to do that. Be right back with you. Hey folks, back with you. Our charcoal is up to temp. I'm going to pour it into the Weber. If you notice around the lid, I put some lava lock tape on there. I've never done this to a Weber grill before, and I think I said earlier, this is my fourth 22.5-inch one. And Weber just, they improve the product over time. They don't radically change the product. It's still the same old kettle. It's 22.5 inches. But if you'll notice, I did add the cast iron grates to it, which I really like. They're from Camcorder. There. I'm going to stoke this a little bit, let it heat, then I'm going to get my grill brush, kind of knock these ashes off, and then I'm going to let it come to temp. I'm opening the bottom vent all the way so I can get all the airflow it can from beneath. I'm going to brush the grill grate off, then I'm going to close the lid and let this build up fire. It's going to heat over here, of course it's going to heat over here, but this is where we're going to cook the meat indirectly on these grates over here. Be right back with you. So we've got a beautiful fire in here already. I'm going to clean this off a little bit. I'm going to brush our grill grates off. I have 2 of these actually, one of them to do what we're doing right now, and then I've got another one that's clean that we're going to use after the grill gets warmed up to temp. So I'm going to close this down right now and let this thing heat up. Boom. And there we go. The heat's going to travel up through here and out these vents right here, and that'll heat the cast iron over here up, and that'll get it ready for us to put our steak in. Thank you. I might add, with the lava lock tape in this thing, it retains heat much better and it heats up much faster. So like the Big Pit and any other grill you have, you kind of got to get to know what it can do and what it can't, and when it will do it and when it won't. And so this is one of those things. If you look at the temp gauge right now, this thing's climbing really fast, but it went from nothing to 240 right now. So the 240 is going to go over here where we're going to have our meat cooking, and over here where our iron grates are. So I'm going to pause for a moment, and I'll be back at you when we put the meat on. You take this in the house with you or wherever you want. It'll receive up to 300 feet. It's extremely accurate, and what we're doing right now, we're trying to achieve about 130 internal temp. I'm going to turn it over once when it gets close to probably 100 degrees, and then we're going to take it off the grill, let it rest, and then we're going to sear it on the ballistic griddle, which is a kind of a cool recipe. Again, thank you, Greg. And T-Roy, if you don't have a Weber kettle, you need to get one. It's the coolest thing that began about 50 years ago. Anyway, be right back at you. SteenSmokeHouse. Bye. The Weber kettle's been around with us for, gosh, I don't know, 50, 60 years. It's got the same design. It's a classic design, a kettle. What can you say? But it works. It convects heat very well. It's very inexpensive. This is the latest version of the grill that comes with all kinds of accessories. And I think it was like $199 delivered. I like black stuff. I wear black all the time. My truck's black. My grills are black, of course. But this is really a great product. It's a great product for somebody that's never grilled before. It's a great product for somebody that grills all the time. And they make an array of accessories for it, from anything from a wok to a steamer to what I have is a Camcorder iron grills in it. I'm telling you, if you just want to start somewhere, you can't outgrow this grill. If I had no other grill in the world, I think I'd probably stick with my big stick burner, but second place would be the Weber, or maybe even first place, because I've loved these grills and I've had them for, gosh, 20, 30 years. So anyway, I just thought I'd add that little tidbit in, and we're going to let this thing get to temp, and I'll be talking to you soon. I'm going to flip it over now. You can see what I see, and the temp on this side is like 450, but the temp on the other side of the grill and the meat is about 98. So I'm going to flip it over and give it a chance to cook on the other side, and you can watch me do it. So just hang in there with me, and I'll walk to the other side of the camera and do it. The steak is gorgeous. If you've never had one of these ribeye caps, you probably ought to try it. It's really easy to do. The seasoning's easy to do. You just follow my simple directions, and we're not done yet. I just wanted to show you what it looks like. We're about 30 degrees or so from being done. I want to get it to like 130 or so forth on the cold side of the grill, and then we're going to pull it off, and then we're going to finish it on the ballistic griddle, and we'll be done. So anyway, thank you for hanging in there with me. I really enjoy doing this. It's fun. I like sharing things. Maybe you've never seen this done before, but if you have any questions or comments, please send them to me. Okay, folks, I've taken the steak off. It's coming to temp while it's resting. I've got the ballistic griddle getting super heated up on the Weber, and as soon as it gets to the point that I want to put the meat back on it, we're going to reverse sear it, sorry about that, on both sides, and then it'll be ready to cut open and eat. Now we're going to use the ballistic griddle with a little bit of, it's really kind of like fat to let the meat kind of render a crust to it, and you can watch me do that, and then I'll bring it out and we'll finish it off. Thanks. Okay, folks, the steak is gorgeous, and it's going to become more gorgeous. Going to put it on the griddle and let it dance on the fire. Actually, this looks really good. I'm going to cut it up in front of you, and forgive me if I take a bite in front of you, but this is exactly what I was trying to accomplish. I've got it on a paper plate right now. I go through so many plates, but I'm going to cut it open and we'll see what it looks like. I'm going to walk around to the other side of the camera. I'll be right back with you. Hey folks, thanks so much for sticking with me. I'm going to cut another piece off this. It's really delicious. It's really done perfectly. It's red in the middle like I like it. It's medium rare, not so medium. It's actually perfect. Delicious. Thanks for following me. Thanks for watching me. The steak is amazing. Thank you. SteenSmokeHouse. Goodbye.